touching your toes requires 4 things: low back flexibility, hip mobility, hamstring and sciatic nerve flexibility. So, through this guided mobility workout, you should be able to identify which areas you need to work on the most to be able to touch your toes, and you'll have a gentle exercise to work on. We will be using a chair, and I'll be using the floor, but you could also do these exercises in a bed. So let's get to it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, click the bell for notifications, like this video, share it with your friends and family, and be sure to come back to this mobility playlist for more. So we're going to start down seated in a chair. I want your feet at least as wide as your chair legs. And the chair that you want definitely has your knees kind of at a 90-degree angle. If they're very high, it might be more difficult, right? If your butt's much lower. So the very first is actually a spine mobilization, and we're just going to kind of roll down. So feel free to use your hands and roll yourself down, allowing your spine to round to as low as you can go comfortably. All of this is about moving within your comfortable range of motion. So we're going to do 15 repetitions, and know that you will probably feel an improvement in your range after just maybe 5 or 10 repetitions. So for me, I could go all the way down to the ground, right? And I can hang out here. I can open my legs wider to feel more of that kind of stretch in the low back. But if you're just getting started and this feels tight to you, especially in that low back area, you're just moving to whatever your comfortable range of motion is, and then you come back up. Okay, you don't have to live here, you don't have to stay here. We're just kind of beginning to allow that spine to round. And if you can go a little bit lower, great. Breathing as we do this. You're just kind of rolling out your spine, right? You really want to have it round. So if I turn to the side, just to give you a better view, my feet are flat on the floor, right? I have that nice 90-degree angle. And it's not just this, right, where I kind of have a flat back. I want you to allow the spine to round so you can move nice and slow. And if 15 reps is a lot for you to do right now in this moment, that's okay. You can always do 5 repetitions and come back to these later in the day. You can do these several times a day, as much as you can comfortably tolerate. We've got 4 more. Just kind of rolling that spine out. And then coming back up to seated. 1 more here. So this is a great way to help release the low back, even to open up the hips a little bit while you're seated. We're going to get down onto the ground for the rest of this workout. And I know that I say that it takes these 4 exercises to be able to touch your toes. That doesn't mean you're going to be able to do it by the end of this particular workout. Some of you certainly will. Some of you might not. But if you come back to this and do this regularly for just a few weeks, I know you will see a difference and you will be able to reach those toes. So we're going to lay all the way down. Back is flat on the floor. Feet are flat on the floor. Knees are pointing up towards the ceiling. This is specifically for hip flexion, which you need to be able to fold over and reach those toes. So feel free, if you need a pillow or something for your head, you can always have that adjusted. And now all you're going to do is kind of hug your knee in. So I want you to reach your hands for your thigh and bring that foot off the floor. And so you're really hugging. You know, you're going to hold on to your thigh with your hands and you're pulling your knee in just as much as is comfortable for you. So again, where you start to feel resistance in the hip, and you might notice that you can't go very far. That would indicate that you need to have some more hip mobility work to be able to get into touching your toes. So as you do this, and we're doing 15 repetitions per leg, you will start to see that again, you might get a little bit further. You might be able to get a little deeper. Your foot is relaxed, your hip is relaxed. It's really your arms doing the work of moving your leg. I want to also mention this other leg that is posting is still, you're not letting it kind of fall in or out. It's still working, just staying there, posted. Making sure we're breathing, and we're really just sort of gently finding that current comfortable range of motion for the hips. So this is nice and gentle. Keep breathing. And you might notice that already you're getting a little bit further in the course of this, right? Just going to where you feel the resistance in the hip. You don't need to actually be pulling in any way. It's all really gentle. Let's do 4 more. You could also do this in bed if that's the right space for you. And now obviously we've got to do the other leg. Put that foot down. Foot is nice and posted. Your back is flat. We're going to reach over and grab that other thigh. Hold on to it, right? That leg is relaxed, and otherwise we're just hugging the knee in. Only as much as you feel comfortable. So your range of motion may not look like mine, and that's okay. If you have tight hips, this might be really difficult for you. This kind of hip flexion, right? I'm squeezing that knee in, and that is the hip flexing in. So feel free to only move within your comfortable range of motion. I know I keep saying it, but it's really important to allow you to be where you are today. And know that if you consistently practice this kind of work, your range of motion will improve, you will have less pain, and more ability to move freely. So the arms are doing all the work here. The legs are not really doing anything. They're just kind of allowing this to happen. 4 more. 2 and 1. And gently coming out. So you're going to keep your feet flat on the floor. And again, we're staying in this kind of position. If you need to have a pillow for your head, that's totally fine. Starting back on my right leg, I'm again going to grab onto this leg. I'm actually going to clasp my hands together so that I can kind of grip a little bit more. And I just want to find a 90-degree angle, right? I don't need to have it pulled really tight. So whatever is comfortable for you, this is just enough. Right? Kind of keeping it right in line here. You can also use a strap or a towel or even a resistance band. If you can't quite reach here, then you can always use those tools to help you get into this kind of position. And then all you're going to do is extend your leg up. You'll feel that hamstring turn on. You can pull it in just a tiny bit wherever you feel the stretch. It doesn't need to be, your knee towards your nose or anything like that. This foot is relaxed, but you already feel that stretch in the hamstring. Keep breathing. We're going to hold this for about 5 breaths. If this is too much, you can always come back to finding that 90-degree angle. So we're just stretching by keeping this leg up towards the ceiling. I can feel my leg shaking just a little bit. I definitely feel it right in the hip. Keep breathing. And then gently bend the knee. let that go. Whew. We're going to do that 2 more times on this leg. So it's not about necessarily getting further in this particular session, but we're working on stretching. So again, I'm going to grab onto my thigh. I'm going to find that 90 position. Maybe I could go a little bit further, right? And then I'm going to extend my leg up straight. You don't need to flex your foot. You certainly can. That is a way to also hit the hamstrings, but you'll also feel a little bit of that sciatic nerve here. And we're just working on stretching the hamstrings. You do not have to flex your foot. You can just have it relaxed as we breathe for these 5 breaths or about 30 seconds. And then you can always play a little bit, see if you can pull that leg in a little bit more, while still keeping that knee mostly straight. It doesn't have to be super, super straight. You're already feeling the hamstring stretch. It's not about overextending the knee in any way. And bend that leg. Go ahead and set it back down. Already in this second repetition, I did not feel as much in my hip kind of resisting that. So that's why we want to do this a few times. And again, you can always do once and come back later in the day, do a couple and come back later, whatever works for you, for your time, your situation. Here we go. Last one of these hamstring stretches. We're just extending that leg up. Breathe. Shoulders are packed down. Still have a nice flat back here. Two more breaths, just like that. You might have a little bit of a wiggle in your leg. That's okay. I do too. And bend that knee. Lower that leg down. We got to do the other side. Here we go. Same exact principle. You're going to grab on, maybe clasp your hands underneath. First, you're going to find that 90-degree angle for the leg. And then if you feel like you have more range, you can feel free to pull your leg in a little bit more and extend that leg up. Now you may notice this side feels totally different. Well, number one, this is only the first repetition, and that other leg got 3 already. But also, our sides are different. Our body is different. We're not 100% completely symmetrical. And that's okay. So this is a great opportunity to just feel what's going on inside of your body. And maybe have awareness on which side is tighter than the other. And ease off, lower down. Take a breath. 2 more, just like that. Nice and gentle, reaching for the thigh. Clasp your hands, find that 90 degrees. Maybe you could pull in a little bit more. And then extend that leg up. I feel like this leg for me has a little bit more range actually. Ooh, but I am shaking. I feel it. Keep breathing. 2 more breaths here. Again, you can always use a strap, a towel, a resistance band, kind of anything that you have to assist you if you need to. And come on down. Take a breath. We've got 1 more repetition. Reaching for that thigh. Clasp those hands. Maybe you could pull a little further. Extend that leg. Now I want you to just try flexing that foot, just like we did on the other side, only for a second. You don't actually have to hold it. I just want you to notice the difference in the feeling in your hamstring and the backside of your leg as we do this, because you're kind of also hitting the sciatic nerve and stretching that as we do this. If that feels right to you, that's a great option as well. But we have another exercise that is specific to flossing the sciatic nerve to help relieve any tension that is there. One more breath here. And ease off. So the setup is the same for this next one, this sciatic nerve floss that we're going to be doing. It's virtually the same. We're going to be doing that same hamstring stretch, but when I'm in this position, I'm going to lift my head up. I'm going to lower my head down when I raise my foot up. Okay, so we're not going to hold for 30 seconds. We're going to do 15 repetitions of this. Now, if you end up having your head raised with your leg raised, it may be painful, okay? So we want to alternate. Head up, leg down, leg up. And feel free to start with whatever needs to come down first, right? Lower down. Lift up. This is 4. And then lift. And you don't have to lift really high. You can feel free to use a pillow or a bolster, whatever you need. So we're kind of working the entire line of the sciatic nerve, which runs throughout the body, right? From the top of the head through the feet. And you can make it more intense by just flexing that foot, right? Now you'll feel it a lot more. We've got 8 more here. Keep breathing. Again, we don't have to hold for a really long time. Five more. 4, still breathing. And this might look different for you. That's okay. You might not be able to pull your knee in pull your leg in as high. Wherever you are today, know that when you come back and do this again, you will probably be improving your range of motion, because usually I find that just after a session of doing about 10 to 15 reps will have a significant difference. Last time, just because it feels nice, already this leg feels looser. Coming over to the other side, grabbing onto that leg. That first 5, we're not going to flex the foot. We're just extending up. Oh, I still flexed because it feels really nice. And then pull that head in. Leg up. Head in. Leg lifts. Head lifts. Leg lifts. Head lifts. 10 more here. Keep breathing. Notice if this feels like it's getting a little bit easier. If you have any kind of nerve pain and you've experienced nerve pain in the past, you kind of know the difference between a muscle stretching and the nerve feeling tight. So just kind of focus your awareness on what that is and whether it is nerve tightness or muscle tightness, and that can help you determine which specific exercise is really the one to work on for yourself. Five more repetitions. Keep breathing. 3, 2. One more just because it feels really nice. And ease off. Bring those knees in, circle them around, nice and gentle. And the other direction. And then hug your knees to come back up. Go ahead and take a second to stand up, however is comfortable for you. And now we're just going to do a little test. So feel free to reach down, forward fold, and notice if you've gotten any further towards touching your toes from just this little session, but feel free to come back to this multiple times a week. If your real goal is to touch your toes, you're probably going to want to do this a few times a week to daily, because this is gentle enough that you can do it daily, and it's a great way to get to touching your toes in just a few short weeks. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed this Touch Your Toes workout with me, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.